Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's not bringing my screensaver up.
Well, I just saw the live button go on.
That looks like, oh, there we go. We are live. Okay, well, everybody that's joined us, thanks for joining. And John, thanks for joining and hosting with me again tonight. So tonight we're talking about Heroes Reborn, Episode 9, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. So we kind of pick up after the events of June 13th, and Noah's gone back to the back to his present. And let me just bring up some photos here. So what did you think last night, John? What did you think of the episode?
Honestly, I think we're getting messages. Oh, there's Ultimate Spider-Man. He just said hello.
Okay.
So basically, it just if we're gonna like I said during our last session, it's starting to get darker and it's starting to look bleak. And as far as I'm concerned, this episode definitely hits us off to the bleak section. It felt like it was going in that direction, and you know, I felt really bad for our heroes. I really did.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was kind of, yeah, it did get darker, and the direction they're going, yeah, I think it's going to get more bleak as we go on. And seeing people like Parkman here, I think they did that a lot with Parkman. Was they did make him look like he was going to be turning evil in the earlier series, and to see him go bad was not much of a surprise. But I do like Evil Parkman. Evil Parkman is fantastic.
It's really weird because he's working for Erica, but at the same time, he's his own bad guy. And basically, it's really weird seeing him sort of as a puppeteer now. I mean, I remember like during the original series, he was all law enforcement, all playing by the books, kind of square in a way, but you kind of like that about him. Now it feels like that whole entire persona just vanished in a poof of air. And suddenly we have a guy who's basically a multiple brainwasher. Just basically he blanketed that whole entire that manor with his own power. And it felt like half of a psychiatric ward and half of a cult ward. And it was really creepy and disturbing.
Yeah, well, we're just getting a message from Ultimate Spider-Man here. I've sent him the invite, and him, by clicking it, he should be able to join right into our panel. But he's not. I don't know what's going on. It says he's part of us, but he should be showing up on our screen.
Nope, don't see him.
What is going on here? If you're watching there, Ultimate Spider-Man, just bear with us here. We don't know why you are not being seen. Okay. Well, anyway, it was as I try to figure this out here. So we got Matt Parkman. We've got him. He's the director of this lovely Sunstone facility, and yeah. So he essentially got Deering to off himself. Oh, there we go. Sorry, there we go.
Now, was it a mind manipulation where he thinks he offed himself, or did he really off himself? I wasn't exactly purely sure, because I saw the blood spattered plastics but I wasn't exactly too sure if that was even more mind manipulation or it was real.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, and then when what's his name woke up, when Carlos woke up, um, you can see that they're wrapping up the plastic with the blood on it. So I don't know if that was more mind manipulation on Parkman's on with Parkman, or if actually it did happen. What is going on here? People in the conversation. He's in there. I don't know what's going on. This is absolutely driving me nuts. Uh, Anyhow, so then we got Farah, and when Parkman saw that she was part of his memory, he figured, oh, that was interesting, that he could be useful. So I'm not sure what the direction they're going to go with Carlos, what they're going to do with him.
On top of that, my partner said, "You're normal. You're not an Evo." So I guess that confirms to us that Carlos isn't exactly hiding anything. He's just a normal human being. It's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, he was able to build that suit. Now, I'm not exactly too sure if that's a superpower, but it kind of is kind of extraordinary. Not anybody can exactly do that.
Yeah.
So, is Matt Parkman mistaken, or maybe is it possible he can't see the power? I'm not exactly too sure.
Yeah, no, that's I thought from the beginning that he had some kind of an ability where he could kind of see how things worked. I don't know what they would call that. I don't know what the ability is called, but I thought, like when he said to his brother in the first episode, oh, with the car, he's like, oh, do this and it'll get running. And his brother's like, oh, what do you come back from the army and you know how to do everything? And it's kind of like, well, maybe that's what activated his ability, was his time in Afghanistan or wherever he was. Because usually these Evos, their powers through the series usually starts when they're put under stress of some kind. Nathan Petrelli flew the first time he was being chased and they're trying to run him off the road, or Peter when he jumped off the roof. And this seems like these powers come under moments of stress, where they're activated under stress.
On top of that, I just want to also point out, for backtracking to Carlos, the fact that he froze in the middle of what looked like a military battle says a lot. I wonder if usually I think that the military would, kind of train you out of that, but apparently it really didn't work on Carlos, and it looked like a form of PTSD that he was experiencing when Matt Parkman was manipulating his mind. And I'm not exactly too sure.
Yeah, sorry, just trying to. Ultimate to send me another message here. I'm just going to reply to him. Well, if he's actually watching, if you're watching Ultimate, if you can download, I don't know if you're on your phone or if you're doing it on a computer. If you're on a computer, you have to add the camera app to the on-air Hangouts. And if you're on your phone, I'm not sure. I've never done it on my phone. So we're trying to.
My very first session with you, I got it on my phone. So.
Did you? Okay. See, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know why it's not letting him in here. It should be letting him. I've got all the controls set proper. It's bizarre. Oh boy. Okay. I'm just gonna see if I can invite my wife into the conversation just to see if maybe it is not just me. Okay. She's gonna be thrilled to death that I'm inviting her. So, okay, so we've got Joanne. She's back. Psycho Killer's back. We've missed her for a few episodes. Well, we saw her, I guess, in the June 13th ones, but not as crazy as she is now. But So Casper, unfortunately, bites the dust in this episode. Now, do you think is there going to be problems with him now that Casper is gone? He controls all those pennies. Has everybody regained their memories now, or is everybody, or are they pretty much pooched? There's nothing they can do now. They're not going to get their memories back. So I figured if he could take them with the penny, he can give them back with the penny. That was the theory a lot of people were thinking, but he's dead now, so he can't control that ability. Are these people's memories gone now, do we think?
Do I? I'm sorry. Question?
Well, with Casper gone now, is it plausible that people will get their memories back because he controlled all those pennies? Or people were saying he could take your memories with a penny, he can give them back to you with a penny. But either way, he's dead now. Do we think people are just going to be without their memories from here on in, like Tommy or Nathan? Is he going to get his memories back? How is he going to get his memories back?
That's a very, very good question. I never really anticipated that. The way that I see it as, from what I can understand about his powers, he can only take away memories. I never actually saw him give a penny back nor give back anybody's memories. So I'm going to assume that once the memories are taken, they are taken and are lost. If he had the ability to give memories back, it died with him. So I don't think I honestly really don't think those memories are coming back. I really don't. That's just my personal theory.
No, I think you're right too. I was kind of hoping that they were going to give Tommy his memories back, just to, so he can realize what he can actually do with time travel and whatnot. But I think that died with Casper. Those memories have died. But it was interesting to see Tommy. Here's another example of the heroes being under distress. When Joanne was going to shoot, what's her name, Emily, he does that little scream, and all of a sudden, everybody's frozen in time. Now he realizes that he's got that as an ability as well. Now there was a scene in here. I don't know if you remember this from last night. When Tommy had everybody frozen, he touched Luke. He moved his arm. And what I was reading on message boards this morning was, well, he touched Claire, took her power. Touched Hero, took her power. He touched Luke. By that method, should he not have taken Luke's power? And I think my answer to that was, well, he was an infant when he took the other two's abilities. I think he realizes now, he may not know that he can steal powers, but I think he's so focused on what he can do now that he's not actually thinking about stealing powers. Where it was an infant, he's just doing willy-nilly.
Well, from what I saw, he stopped time, but he did it on like a freak accident. He didn't know he could do it, but he did it. Like, sort of like stepping on the gas and didn't realize you stepped on the gas in a car. I mean, stepping on the brake. I'm sorry, stepping on the brake and not realizing, oops, I reflexively stepped on the brake, and now everything stopped to stand to a still, which is kind of quite honestly, an interesting point of freezing time, because at that point it was basically a Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Everyone was pointing their weapons at someone, and the moment that a trigger was pulled or a superpower was commenced, we see Nathan closing his eyes and doing the hero power.
and channeling his inner yata.
Yeah.
I saw somebody refer to him as the new master of time and space. I said, no. He just controls time and space. He's not the master. That's still, Hiro Nakamura is still the master of time and space. So
yeah, that's overstating and not very valid. It's nice to think of, but No. We all know that Hiro Nakamura made mistakes. Plenty of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing about Hero. He realized in those last couple episodes that uh, he realized now when by the June 13th part 1, he realized all his future errors and mistakes, and he was like warning Noah, don't step on butterflies, don't change anything. And Noah still went ahead and shot, Erica. And now we've got Quentin as a bad guy. So that was kind of like a big butterfly that has been squashed. I just got a message from Ultimate, and he said something came up. Unfortunately, I have to cancel. Something has come up. So maybe he was able to. I don't know. Maybe something happened. He had to leave, but I don't know. I'll have to do a couple more tests on this thing before we try to invite people again. I feel bad about that if you couldn't join because of something on my end. Anyhow, so we got Luke and Melina showed up to the thing. I think I got a shot of that whole group of them all frozen somewhere. See if I can find that. But didn't Luke's hands remind you of Ted Sprague when he was doing his little fire thing there? I kind of remnants of Ted Sprague before he got his skull ripped open. Yeah, so that's kind of. No, that's the wrong picture. What is going on here?
All right, folks, we're having technical difficulties. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
Are watching.
Yeah, we're not. This isn't. We're not. I'm not a pro like Ray William Johnson yet. So. Not there. Not quite there yet.
We don't have cool transitions. Sorry.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. So. So yeah, I found that very interesting. That was probably my favorite part of the episode last night was the in the ice parlor and Tommy with his newfound power, or not that his newfound power, but new to him that he can actually do this time freeze and saves his girlfriend, pulls her out of there. Goes back to Grandpa Noah, and they run into another problem. They've got Phoebe and Quentin to deal with. Now, how do you feel about Quentin's turn as a bad guy? We had him as a sidekick with Noah for the longest time, but now he's just. I don't care for him anymore. It's not that he's a bad guy. I just don't like the fact that they took this guy who was kind of a bumbling fool in the first few episodes, and he kind of. He's kind of comic relief, but now he's pointing guns at people and, you kill my sister, I'll kill Tommy kind of thing. So what do you think about Quentin's turn of events?
Well, here's the thing, though. In part, it was Noah's fault. Even Noah pretty much admitted it himself. While he was pointing the gun at the Shadow, I'll call her, Quentin was pointing the gun at Nathan, and even Noah admitted, "You're the butterfly," and Quentin was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that was a huge butterfly, and that was always something that Hero talked about in the original series. Was when he was going back to save Charlie, he was all worried about all these butterflies. He was gonna all these things that are going to happen, the ripple effects that were going to happen with him going back to save her. Which there was quite a few different things that happened, and most of all, he lost Charlie in the end, essentially. But let's see.
For one, Noah didn't really plan that out. He just ran after Erica, and he didn't really think things through. He just basically shot off in the dark, and whoops, I wounded her. I didn't really kill her. And he didn't exactly look around to see if the coast was clear before he took the shot, and his other self tackled him. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of metaphorical allegory there somewhere, but it kind of lost me this very minute. But, now that Quentin really is a bona fide, I guess you could say turncoat. I'm going to say un, un, unforeseeable turncoat. And I want to say that I don't care for him too, but I'd probably be lying to myself because, in a way, he's also still being manipulated by Erica, as is the Shadow, his sister. So, in the end, ultimately, some blame goes to Noah, but ultimately it is Erica's fault. She is the puppeteer. She is the one pulling the strings on all of these villains. And now we see that multiple man Harris practically recruited Joanne when he pulled up in his SUV and said, "Get in the car." And I was like, "Oh, great! That's just what we need."
And I think you and I touched on that a couple sessions ago. I think we were talking about, well, what are the possibilities of her helping Erica and Harris find these other Evos, being that she has a bloodlust for them, so she'll track them down as good as anybody. So she's kind of like a bloodhound.
I know. I mean, I'm like, oh, great. If things couldn't look any more messed up and more bleak, here we are. A serial killer going to probably be joining forces with multiple man Harris. And I'm like, great. Oh, this really looks bad. And on top of that, you have one less hero. You have Casper dead. And Hiro Nakamura, I'm not too sure if he's dead, but it didn't look that still wasn't exactly solved or concluded either. So we have, two heroes down, kind of, and another villain, and a villain who basically got the upper hand, and villains consolidating.
Yeah, that's
not good.
Well, because Hero's trapped in that. To me, he's in a time loop. That's what I think. That's what I want to call it. Because he's going to keep doing getting out of the game and saving Nathan and I guess we'll say his wife. I think he's going to be stuck in that loop for a while till he figures out how to get out of that, or I guess maybe future Noah's got to go back and tell past Hero, here's what's going to happen to you. You're going to have to change it. Speaking of which, the Haitian. I don't have any screenshots of last night from the Haitian, but that butterfly, there's more than one butterfly because the Haitian's back. Now, are we assuming that he's going to die again, though? Because, he died pretty weak in the first episode. What do you think we're going to go with the Haitian now that they're going to track down Hero Tree, or they're going to track down Micah is essentially what they're going to do. And he's in that same facility that Carlos is in now. I think either we're going to lose the Haitian or we're going to lose Parkman if that goes down.
Well, here's the thing about the Haitian. I guess we could say that his death was superseded, written over. So it's going to get confusing at this point when you deal with time travel and time manipulation. But you really don't know what the Haitian's true motivations are, if he is to save Evos or save the world. I'm not exactly too sure, but it kind of feels like that he's a good guy. I just can't be 100% sure. Now, when we see the Haitian and his little group, I'm not too sure what to call them, but I guess I could just call them an underground movement because it's a very cloak and dagger sort of group, which is understandable.
Yeah.
And they pretty much kidnapped, or I guess you could say forcibly tested Erica's daughter, who's now pregnant, and a redhead on top of that. See now where they can find Mika. And, trying to track him down in the multiple places where it could be, whether it's the Sundance, the manor, or another establishment. We're not too sure. So we have yet to see Micah, and I'd really like to see him, considering the fact that him and his mother or his aunts per se were a real integral part of the original Heroes series, and I look forward to seeing him again and what he can do and how does he play in this little plot. On top of that, if I want to go back to the bleak reasoning, Nathan is now in Erica's hands, and that's not good. That's really not good.
No, no.
You can basically manipulate that teenager because, in a way, he's kind of naive and he doesn't. I guess you can say he doesn't really experienced all of this. He's basically a rookie being thrown into an all-star game and told, "Hey, go and play, do your best, don't get killed."
Yeah, that's such, and he's going to probably do something to screw something up because he's going to be worried about protecting his family and his girlfriend and everything. And I think at this point Tommy needs Melina and Luke and Noah behind him to kind of be the hero that they want him to be. He needs guidance, and I don't think Erica's going to give him the proper guidance he needs. Essentially, she just, okay, well, I'll save you, Tommy, but we're not going to take any of your family with you. But we're going to save the world for the future, for our future. She's kind of, I don't know, I don't know what to call her, but she just reminds me of a dictator. We're going to take who I want, and this is how it's going to be, and we're going to have our new world. And as we saw at the end of the episode, Miko is sitting in the middle of the future. What did it say? 7,800 years in the future?
7,597 years into the future, if I'm not mistaken.
That's just insane. I'm like, and she's sitting in the middle of this desert, and she peeks around the corner and it looks like a small little city or something. I don't know what it is, but it's just bizarre. I'm like, so I imagine we're going to see what's going on there, how we get to that point.
Yeah, that's really weird, considering the fact that the last time we saw her, she was basically evaporated, or I guess you could say digitally dematerialized in the computer world, and when Hero was freeing. So do we mean to say that she was transported to the future because of the sword or through Hero? I'm not exactly too sure, but yeah, so maybe she wasn't exactly a virus, just Ochiro Otomo just made a construct who's now really a living, breathing, flesh and blood person, and just she wasn't exactly what we thought she was. Now, as to pertain to that, I wouldn't say that Erica is a dictator so much as she has a god complex. And, people with god complexes don't fare so well, especially when you consider that she's a CEO of a corporation. And let's face it, a lot of CEOs of corporations do have god complexes. And I guess Tim Kring is playing on that, which is fine. It's just that now he used it to a point of steroids. On top of that, she has no powers. As far as I can tell, she has no powers. So all her power is just the control of others as a CEO. So it's an interesting sort of step in a way. But when we think about Angela Petrelli with her powers and with Primatech, she kind of wasn't exactly a bad guy, woman per se. It's just that she had a sliver of truth that she wanted to do good, but she was seen for a short amount of time as a bad person. But Erica, no, hands down, she's bad, irredeemable, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I like that when you're saying she's got the god complex, because like when that deer showed up on her yard and she just kind of casually is talking to I can't remember the guy's name. She's talking to him and she just grabs the rifle, keeps talking, walks out, shoots this deer. Next we see her, she's got a chef in the kitchen with her. they're chopping it up, and she's gutting this thing, and she's cutting it up, and and then asking Tommy, or asking, I keep calling him Tommy, asking Nathan if he likes venison, and I'm like, woman, you're nuts. You just, she thinks, she only thinks of herself and nobody else. As long as she gets what she wants, she'll be happy.
On top of that, she had, while she was cutting up the deer, I don't know if you noticed, she told her a little story about growing up on a farm, and you ate what you killed, I think she said.
Yes.
Which is a little insight into her God complex.
Yes. Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah. And it sounded like that little farm that she was talking about was also the place where they're holding all those evos now. Because that kind of reminds me of a farm area. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Great. Now it's part psychiatric ward, part cult ward, and now part farm.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, just to touch back on that again, with Parkman in that place, his powers have evolved. Because none of these people want to try to escape, so he's implanted his will on all these people through his ability, but he's controlling them through a microphone essentially. He's just talking to them, and here's what you're going to kind of do today, and have a good day, and yada yada. And nobody's trying to escape. What was the little boy's name?
Jose?
His nephew. I can't. Jose. Yeah, because he's sitting there thinking he's looking at his dad, but he's looking at nothing. There's nobody sitting there. So Parkman's really kind of gone the way of his dad, essentially.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when you hear him through the microphone, I was even hearing the weird little directions that I was giving. Breathe in, breathe out, clear your mind, you're relaxed. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's really part of a cult leader now, because that's like Swamis do. And
exactly. Yeah, that's what I felt like. Hey, drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. That's just, yeah, Parkman's gone. Yeah, he's become his dad, which essentially he did not want to be his dad. And
it also didn't help that everyone was wearing white pajamas. Didn't help. Did not help one bit.
No,
first they wouldn't show Parkman's face, and I'm thinking to myself, why does that voice sound familiar? Why do they keep showing only the lower half of his body? Oh, it's Parkman.
It's Parkman. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was the same as you. When I heard the voice, I said, "Who the hell is that?" I go, I recognized it, and then of course they show you, and all of a sudden his voice clears right up. Another thing I wanted to mention, because I know I'll forget it because I have these brain moments sometimes. With regards to the Haitian, now that he's come back because of the timeline has been kind of altered, could he not restore Nathan's memories? Do you think that'd be an option that they might go into?
Very good question. See, now we're talking about it never really resolved itself to know that if an Evo can do damage, can another Evo repair that damage? It was never really purely spelled out in the original series. So it's a very good question. Whatever Casper did, can the Haitian heal? It's possible, but you also have to remember, A, Casper and the Haitian never met, and B, you don't know if any of the people that needs their memories restored will be encountered by the Haitian, or if the Haitian is really motivated to do any healing, for all we know. So we are left with that big question mark, and I'm not too sure if we'll really ever know.
Yeah. No, because I figured, with Tommy, or Nathan, I gotta get used to saying Nathan, with his, because when we see him in June 13th, Part 2, he's in complete control of his abilities. He can teleport, time travel, all that. Now he's got to relearn all that. Now, I don't think they don't have enough episodes for him to relearn how to do all that. So I'm assuming he's got to get his memory back somehow. I just don't know how, because he doesn't have Hero to teach him now how to do all that, which he had, 15 years of learning. So they're not going to be able to probably do that over the next 4 or 5 episodes. So that was just my concern. This guy's supposed to time travel or do something, which I'll play the commercial for next week. Looks interesting.
On top of that, he also admitted, I'm a year old. I'm just thinking to myself, that is the biggest growth spurt I've ever seen. Even Hero standards.
Yeah. Let me see what else have I got here for pictures. I just got last shot is of Phoebe with her creepy shadows coming out of her hand as they enjoyed their deer supper on the patio there. But no, it was. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a good pickup after. I thought, the last 3 episodes that had Masioka in them, those were really good for me. Probably my favorites of the season. But this was a good continuation because now everybody's starting to come together. The characters are starting to intertwine. I think we're on our way to a big build-up to whatever the finale will be, which sucks that we've got to wait till January 7th for it to come back next week, and then January 7th it comes back. But I wanted to. It was funny. I was talking to somebody on a message board this morning, and they said they made a joke. They said, "What did they say?" They said, "Oh, we'll have one more surprise visitor to the show." And they said, "Well," I said, "Who have you heard's coming back?" And they said, "Well, Peter Petrelli." And I said, "Well, why would Peter Petrelli be coming back? Milo said he wasn't coming back to the show." And it's like this guy had some kind of insider information. I don't know how much stock I put in it, but apparently he's going to do something with Melina. He's going to copy her ability and do something with. I can't remember everything was written, but I thought that was what he was saying was kind of interesting. But I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see Milo in this show at all.
Okay. Question: do you trust this source that you've been talking to?
No, I don't know. It's all internet talk, right? So, but the way he was talking, it was like he had heard or seen and knew something about it. And I was like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. But I can't remember what he all said. But I'll see if I can find it in writing and post it on our Heroes group. But yeah, no, it's like, yeah, hey, would Peter come back? I would love it if he did. That would make me really happy. But I don't think we're going to see him. Either that or they've kept him quiet really well. And he's been kind of like, oh, I would never do that show again kind of thing. And he actually is doing it and just keeping his mouth shut about it. And because The Whispers got canceled like 2 months ago. So, and they just finished filming. All of Heroes Reborn was finished filming on Tuesday. So he's had 2.5 months. He wasn't doing nothing. He could have made an appearance, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so from what you've told me about when he was on Comic-Con, if he were either A, your source was incorrect and he really doesn't care and will move on in his court, or B, it was, if your source is telling the truth, classic misdirection. No, I'm not going to do it. No, I moved on. No. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's probably making a contract and filming the scenes. Now, I remember with The Walking Dead, the actor who played Morgan, they had to sneak him in. From what I remember from The Talking Dead, they sneaked him into a hotel, and he would film his scenes, and everybody in the hotel had to sign a binding contract of confidentiality. And maybe they're doing the same thing with Milo, if your source is correct. And two, and I have to bring up the point of this: if he is coming back, what kind of powers does he have now? Does he keep his old powers? Is it the same powers that he had when season 5 ended, or is it nerfed? Is it up? Is it heightened? All these questions.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I remember. I think we might still have the picture on our Heroes community. I'll have to look. I posted it about 3 months ago, and it was a picture with Milo, and he had his beard, kind of mustache and beard going on, and he was with a lady named Wendy. And Wendy Lynn does makeup for the Hero show, and she's on Reborn as well. And there was a picture of him with her, and I thought, oh, okay, well that's nice. That's probably an old photo. And then I saw a picture a few weeks ago with Jack Coleman, Noah Bennett with Wendy Lynn, and she's wearing the exact same dress or black top with the little necklace thing on it. So that made me go, could be, I don't know.
And you're connecting the dots.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, did she just happen to be wearing the same outfit that day, or just at those 2 different times? Hard to say. I just have a hard time believing you didn't ask Milo Ventimiglia to be on Heroes Reborn when he was the star. Claire or Hayden Panettiere said she wasn't asked. I don't know if she wasn't asked, or maybe she was going to make an appearance, but then this thing with her postpartum came up, and maybe she couldn't because of that. But Zachary Quinto was asked. That doesn't make any sense to me not to ask the other two. I think there was a whole bunch, like you said, maybe there's people have been like tight-lipped, locked in the contract. You leak it, we'll sue you kind of thing. Who knows? But not to have your 3 big stars asked to come back to the show didn't make any sense to me. So, not that the other people that did show up, they're big stars as well. But the 4 people was essentially Hero, Peter, Siler, and Claire. To me, they were kind of like who the stories revolved around. And to only have one of them come back and not to ask the other 3 didn't make a lot of sense to me. But we'll see what happens if they make a cameo. Because all they've done so far is they've mentioned Siler, not even mentioned Siler by his name, but Noah made reference to, I knew a guy that would harvest the powers from the brave. That's all he said about him. I'm like, not even a mention, Claire gets a sheet over her face, and there's not even a mention of Peter yet. So I don't know. I would like to see him make even like a brief cameo.
Like we said before in previous sessions, the stars exactly aligned. I mean, quite honest, their career went off in many different directions, and we weren't exactly too sure if we could reel them back in again. Hayden Panettiere had Magical, and you said Milo had Whispers, and Zachary Quinto was busy with the TV show where his kid gets hit and Star Trek. So all of them, I'm pretty sure they were asked. I am very, very sure. It's just that you're not too sure if they said yes or no.
Yeah, we're kept in the dark.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can play this trailer for next week, which looks pretty good. Okay, let me see if I can. Oops. Helps if I connect it to the TV. I think my 6-year-old can work technology better than me.
Oh, that's a generational thing,
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, buffering. Don't buffer. Okay, there we go. So. Whoops, I'm supposed to play the next one. Ay. Yeah, this is why I don't have a career in broadcasting. Okay, let's try that again. Thursday. This is the issue. It's all gone. Fall finale.
We're supposed to stop the apocalypse.
There is no stopping her.
To save humanity,
I need you.
he must join forces with a good lady.
The truth is yours.
And one hero discovers her true power. But can she save the most beloved hero of all?
Oh my God. Your grandfather, where is he?
Heroes Reborn. New Thursday on NBC and get the NBC app.
Hey YouTube, thanks so much for watching here.
There we go. So just from that little quip there at the very beginning, it says the fall finale, which like really 3 episodes after next week. Why do we need a break for? I guess maybe for reshoots if they need to do. Maybe these last 3 episodes are going to be huge and special effects driven and everything else.
Or classic cliffhanger syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be continued, but not to come back. Oh, that drove me nuts. So the way Melina's acting there, it's as if something bad is going to happen to Noah, like he could possibly be dead. So, but I don't think he's going to be written off. Well, nobody gets written off in the Heroes universe if you really think about it. Like, we look at the people who died in the last few episodes. Is Mohinder really dead? The Haitian's back. Hero, we don't know for sure what's happened to him. No one really truly dies in the Heroes verse. There's always an out. And I don't think killing Noah would make sense at all. Or at least I hope it doesn't make sense. But we will see. Yeah, so I don't know.
From what I've seen with the trailer, it really isn't much. We don't really have much to go by. All we see really is Nathan traveling with Erica, and we're looking at the near 7,597 years into the future, and we're not exactly too sure if it looks good or looks bad. I'm going to assume bad, but they're saying that, Nathan wants to prevent this. Erica said, no, it's going to happen, and using her God complex to accomplish her goals. With that being said, Miko is walking in the desert. We're not too sure what she's going to do. Melina is obviously huffing and puffing and doing her power thing, and she's picking up the horn-rimmed glasses. Is he dead or is he disappeared? I'm not exactly too sure. You could argue it either one way or the other, but you are right. I honestly do not believe Noah is dead. Quite coincidentally, it seems like because Noah is the main protagonist in this series, and everyone else is basically the supporting role. Funny how this really works, though. And Kring, I have to give Kring credit for this. Both the main protagonist, which is Noah, and the main villain, which is Erica, they're not Evos. They're normal. And yet they're very central to this very show. It's an interesting way on making it, because if I remember correctly, in the first season, Noah was portrayed as kind of the villain because we didn't really know anything about Noah. Yeah. And now we see him as, no, he's the good guy. It's an interesting spin on Kring doing all this. I just got a note.
No, you're so right. It kind of reminds me of Superman Lex Luthor kind of thing.
Except there is no Superman.
Yeah. No, because they nerfed his powers.
Yeah. So an inept and impotent Superman versus a Lex Luthor.
And then, one thing I was hoping we didn't get this week was I was kind of hoping we were going to find out who the father was to the kids. That was kind of, I don't know if they're just going to leave that to the wayside now, and oh yeah, we're not going to revisit that because it's just going to open up a sour bag of apples for people, or but I don't know. It's kind of if we go back to season 3 with Sylar with a kid, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. West could be the guy that could fly from season 2. Could be the dad. I guess they had a relationship, but as far as I don't know. These things just don't make sense, because when we left Claire in season 4, she had kind of been exploring her gay side. She had, I can't remember the girl's name, was her girlfriend. Now she's had kids, so there had to have been, I imagine, a guy involved. So I don't know, just kind of all over the place. But I just don't want to do what they did in season 3, where they, Skylar in the future had a kid, but we never did find out who the mother was. That always irked me. And if I ever see Zachary Quinto, I'm going to ask him. Give me the info, damn it, that I want. Oh, we lost you there, John. Hang on here. What is going on? Here we go. Well, it seems like I'm by myself. I think we lost John. Maybe a connection issue, not sure. Yeah, okay. Having technical difficulties today, everybody watching. We'll have the streamline for the fall finale next week. Anyhow, I think maybe the problem might be on my end here. John, if you're watching, thanks for hosting tonight. Apologies for all the problems I had on my end here tonight. I'll have everything streamlined for next week. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We'll see you here next Friday for the fall finale. We'll be reviewing the episode 1153 to Odessa, which will be episode 10. Then we will be on a break until first week of January, when Heroes Reborn comes back after the Christmas break. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. If you're on G+, please check out our Heroes Reborn community. If you want to join us for a live session, just by all means, message myself or John and contact us through the community, and we'll gladly get you on the show. Then we'll have all this panel issue straightened out by next week. And they re-invited John to join back, but maybe it's not letting him in. So John, if you're watching, sorry if you got, I don't know what happened here. Just having all kinds of issues today. Anyhow, you want to come say goodbye to everybody, bud?
Nope.
No? Okay. My son's over here waving at me. Thought maybe he'd want to come on camera and say hi to everybody. So, thank you everyone again for watching. I see we have a few viewers here. We'll be back next Friday, like I said, for the finale, the fall finale. And so we'll see everybody next week. Have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. Good night.